Hello and welcome to Fresh Off the Boat. Today I'm delighted to be chatting with Raghav Gupta. He's one of my favorite students who went to Emory University, and he's a rising junior now in the Gazeta School. Raghav, your interest in entrepreneurship was fairly established even when you were in school. But then, what was it like when you first started classes in Emory? How was it like settling in and then figuring out how business education actually works there?
So, firstly, hi Arjun. I have to thank you for all the guidance you have given me. And in terms of Emory, the best part about Emory is that in the first 2 years, we get to experiment with liberal arts. So they have a business school, but in the first 2 years, you can do whatever you want while taking certain courses in the B school without actually committing to the B school. So a lot of my friends, they were not sure about business, and as a matter of fact, they didn't do business. So they came in thinking about business, they didn't do. I, on the other hand, was pretty sure about business, but when I went there, I also found my other interests that were political science and philosophy to a certain extent. So it was a very good experience considering the first 2 years I got to experiment a lot.
So you did philosophy and political science. It also meant that you're smart to merge your interest and do the core requirements.
Right.
Does Amity have a fairly? I mean, it's well known for its liberal arts too. So any memories or any inspirations from the classes you took which are not business?
So I took this class on fake news, and this was my freshman FWRT class. So what we did over there was that we understood how fake news factories emerge, and India was our core. Like India was our area of study. So that was pretty interesting how it happens in India, and it really. And I took a couple of classes in journalism also. So it I think it improved my writing a bit and made me more aware about my surroundings. Definitely.
Right, Gazeta is a good school and everyone knows about its business sort of opportunities they offer. But what are the few things you think you did not know or many people don't know about the Gazeta education? What stands out or what could be better?
So what stands out is that all the faculty at Gazeta is usually the very topmost faculty in America. So because the average pay in Gazeta is even higher than some Ivy League universities, and it's Atlanta, so it's the cost of living is much cheaper. So it helps Gazeta attract really good talent. So like just recently, our dean became the dean of Wharton School. So the faculty at Gazeta is really good, and they are really helpful. And I also became the TA of Dr. Jagdish Seth. He's a very well-known marketing guru. He just got the Padma Shri. And what I realized was that the faculty support at Gazeta is really good because average class size is very small as compared to other colleges.
Super. In terms of hands-on like learning, business schools are always known for the case studies or breakout problem solving challenges. Do you have any interesting insights or experiences to share?
So case study is always something which really excites me in all the classes. But we also have a lot of competitions going around in all our clubs, the B school clubs. So I took part in a stock pitch competition where we had to pitch Tesla to Bill Gates. So that was very interesting. No, not actually Bill Gates, but like
Yeah, of course, hypothetically.
hypothetically. Yeah, and then I also took part in a lot of hackathons where we had to come up with products. So we partnered with Georgia Tech. The children over there coded the stuff, and we made the business plans and the ideas. So that was pretty interesting. And yeah, a lot of case competition. So overall, the whole experience is very inclusive, very very experimental. So that's good.
But do you see that there are certain categories formed when, in terms of student groups, there are few tech entrepreneur type people, and there are few poets. When you have that whole vision of the liberal artsy kid who also wants to do business, and then there's the quant techie kid.
So in terms of community, I'll say it's more to do with your sort of racial background. I've realized that at Emory specifically, like usually the Asians, be it the Chinese or the Indians, they usually hang out together, or the proper whitish people they hang out together. So that is the only sort of groupism or anything related to that I've seen. But overall, I think most of the people are very similar. They It's a private college, so people usually come from good backgrounds only, and people usually are very smart, considering that Emory is a top 20 college. So I think overall, most of the people are quite similar.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, my question was more to do with, STEM students who also want to do business. They sort of
So,
hang out together.
same at Emory, to be very honest, is nothing.
Okay.
It's non-existent.
Of course, there's no engineering, but there's medicine and pre-med and other things,
In terms of medicine, it's a different level only. So I didn't
right?
take medicine into that, but medicine is really good. It's probably in top five in the country. So medicine is really good there. In terms of computer science or engineering or anything like that, that's nothing. Mathematics is really bad. Even economics is also not
Okay.
that good. So
Okay. Super. Yeah, good to know, actually. But also, if you were to talk about different clubs and organizations that you joined
yeah.
and other opportunities which not many people associate Emory with or college with, what do you think were your learnings?
So I became the president of Enactus at Emory. So it's a social entrepreneurship club where we try to find entrepreneurial solutions for social problems. So there we partnered with a lot of refugee groups. We partnered with a group of Indian ladies. We got them, beauty licenses and made them open a salon, and they offered services inside the college. So that was something which is very interesting. Then I'm also part of 180 Degrees Consulting. I'm the vice president of 180 Degrees Consulting at Emory. So we do case studies. We actually advise clients. We actually have a lot of mentors who are consultants in the top big four and stuff like that who come and advise us. So that's really good. The industry support at Emory is really good, because the alumni are really close knit, and the group is not that big. So because of that, the alumni support is good, and especially in Greater Atlanta area, all the corporates really support Emory.
That's good to know. Okay, I'm going to switch gears and talk about you now. I mean, we'll want to hear more about you. So, rapid fire. What are the three words that come to your mind when you want to describe your strengths?
I think it has to be hustle, humble, and vision. I think that's what I think.
Yeah, that's great.
Might be wrong,
I
but
think hustle and humble together I've not heard very often, so that's great. So that's good if you can do both together. Be nice at the same time, know how to get your work done. That's good. Uh, Tell me something about inspirations. If you were to pick two or three people, authors, influencers,
hmm.
people you follow, who are they and what do they do?
So there's this entrepreneur called Kimat Rai Gupta. He was the founder of Havells. So not that my family is related to him or anything, but he was part of our community. Like where I live, he was part of that community. So that guy, I read his book and his autobiography, and that really made me get inspired by him. How a small time trader became the owner of the biggest electrical conglomerate in the world. Havells is probably the biggest electrical conglomerate in the world right now. So that was very inspiring. So that is one. Then in terms of entrepreneurs, I would say Ratan Tata, definitely for his humility. These are the two that come on top of my head.
Sure. Great, great. So, next set of questions is more to do with the current situation and COVID. And I know we'll talk a little bit about the startup you've just launched, uh, but it's related to education in times of COVID, uh, and Emory and your friends around you. What are you guys thinking? What will be the future of education? And from the consumer perspective, the user perspective, what could be the way forward?
So I think what I realized was that education was not just going to the college. It involved a lot of aspects. It was going in your car, talking to your friends while you go, taking recesses, a lot of other things in the middle. What I feel will happen after this post-COVID world would be that anything which was a bit slacky in the beginning, right? Anything that was not efficient, that will go. It will just come down to work. So like as I was talking to you earlier, you said like your productivity has increased, right? So even if you don't have colleges that go for like 8 hours or 6 hours, even if they go for like 3 hours, they will be much more efficient. And the time which people used to waste can be used to do something in this field only, in to do with projects or internships or stuff like that. Because now what we have realized is that we don't need offices to work. So a lot of corporates, I feel that they will have a lot of opportunities coming for students, which will help them educate themselves.
That's fantastic. And your day would look very differently now. You don't have to just wake up and go to class. You could just be in your room and do that. At the same time, for collaborative projects, that's when maybe meetings, not necessarily in person again, small groups could be formed. Has Emory come up with a plan? As in, have they offered you scenarios?
So I had a talk with the head of foreign engagement, and what he was telling me was that they will probably not have in-person classes in fall. They haven't confirmed it, so I really don't know.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's looking really difficult considering that Georgia as a state is not doing that well. So it will probably be online. Now, what people are figuring out is that whether they will give us the option of taking a gap year or a gap semester, because what we have realized is that, and what the person also was saying was that the competition next year will increase a lot. So they are still thinking whether they will option give that option of taking a gap year or gap semester.
Got it. Interesting. So, yeah, I guess students who are listening, the ones who are applying this, yeah, this is important information because, yes, if there is a flood of applications coming in 2021, most likely the acceptance rates at most selective schools will decline. And even in the schools which are reasonably selective, they might see a year of huge number of applications. But let's hope things sort out soon. Switching to your startup now, I know your family and even you personally have been very interested in education. Uh, there's that years of work. Your dad, personally, I've known him, so I know he's put in understanding online education, also kind of pioneering that field. What is it that you're now doing, and where do you see it going?
So what I realized was that there was a huge bridge between education and getting a job. So I had a talk with a lot of corporates, especially in the technical field, and what they said was that after graduating out of colleges, the students don't have job ready skills. So I worked backwards with corporates. So there's a thing called Java. People who know computer science would know what Java is. So Java full stack developers are required by every startup, every company in today's world, and that is one thing which is growing every quarter.
Can you
So
give an example of what Java full stack people do, like in real life? Because if it's for people who are listening, might
yeah,
not know.
so Java full stack is like anything to do with developing UIs or anything to do with developing basic frameworks. So anything online has to be based on a framework. So be it your Facebook or be it your Amazon, they all require a basic framework running behind. That's very basic, but that's the basic understanding of Java.
Sure,
Anything to do
sure.
with creating a framework has to involve Java in
Got it.
today's world. So what we realized was that there is a need, and students don't know what they need to learn, and colleges can't teach that. They just can't because this is a very dynamic thing. So
So
what
every
I
few weeks there are new plugins or new
every
add-ons.
few months there are new plugins. Every few months there are new plugins, and these things are very specific to the company or the industry. So, for example, a Tech Mahindra would have different requirements for a Java full stack developer as compared to a Morgan Stanley. So, a financial services company would have a different requirement than a IT services company. So, what we did was that what we are planning to do is we haven't really launched it till now because of Corona, because of COVID. Everything got delayed by a quarter at least. So, what we will do is that we'll hire people, we will upskill them through our course, and then on our payrolls, we'll deploy them in our clients' companies.
So they could be 18 year and above. They don't have to have a college degree or
They
anything.
don't have to have a college degree, but they need to have certain basic Java skills. They can't come without that.
Got it.
So it will involve around 600 hours of training.
Wow.
Will happen in 2 to 3 months. So 12 hours average on a
So it's
day.
like a boot camp. So something like a flat iron or a
Yeah, exactly.
general assembly.
Yeah.
But then those companies don't just do Java full stack. They do other things
And they
also.
don't deploy. They don't deploy.
Okay. So here there's a guarantee, job guarantee
Guaranteed,
insurance.
guaranteed job. And our plan
Okay.
is to start with at least 7 lakhs starting per annum in
Okay,
India.
so that's yeah, that's in Indian rupees. I think that's a fantastic beginning. So all the best with that. And I know these early days you already have leased and rented out a property. I hope it sees light of day and there are people who can get training and then get employment. So all the best. Going forward, I think I just wanted to get a sense from you and things that you could offer as advice to students who are fairly confused right now, the ones who plan to go to college in 2020 and they had their eyes set on campuses that they were interested in. They've been admitted now. They have packing lists ready, but nowhere to go. What would you say? How do you deal with uncertainty and disappointment?
So I think the one thing which you learn in college, which I have learned in college, is that every small thing is uncertain.
Mm,
And like it might be too early for me to say that, but like I have realized that from a very base, getting a small class also, or getting a B or a B plus or A or A minus in a class, everything which especially at such a delicate age of ours is very uncertain. So I think that right now, just thinking about the amount of things we will gain out of our experience, uh, I think we have to be positive right now. That's all we can do. So even if it's delayed by a year, let's say, I think the ups always are higher than the lows.
yeah, I think you should send kids your way, the ones who want to learn more coding and become full stack engineers. But yeah, but on a serious note, I think yes, upskilling, use this time because you'll never get it again. Uh, yeah, it's kind of there's always a silver lining. If you were to summarize your college experience in 2 to 3 words again, what would it be?
uh, I think it has to be learning, fun learning. That's 3 words.
Great. Okay, so with that note, we'd want to thank you, Raghav, for chatting with me. And I'm sure students not just interested in Emory, but interested in business, interested in uh, running businesses, also in general, knowing how to grab opportunities or create new ones. Would love to stay in touch with you. We'll probably be doing more panels. This is just a kind of a trailer with Raghav. We'll get you on board again for another webinar.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Thank you so much.